Alright, you guys, to start off the raviolis, we're going to be using 4 cups of flour. You can use any flour that you have. The recipe works really great with whole wheat flour as well if you want to try that out. Then I'm going to go in with a teaspoon of salt. You can use kosher salt or pink Himalayan salt, which is what I use. Then I'm just going to turn on my mixer and just let that mix a bit. Then I'm going to go in with 6 large eggs. I'm also going to go ahead and add 4 tablespoons of cold water or warm water to my eggs. You do not want hot water. You do not want your eggs to start cooking or anything like that. So just stick to room temperature, cold water, okay? So 4 tablespoons, and I'm just going to go ahead and beat up the eggs with the water. All right, you guys, so we're going to go ahead and add the eggs to our flour and just add it all in. My speed setting is on number 2 on my KitchenAid mixer. I'm using my dough hook. You can use your hands if you want to use your hands. You do not have to use a mixer. Okay. I would suggest you use a wooden spoon to kind of start the mixing first and then just go in with your hands once everything is, mixed up a bit. You don't want to go in there with hands and raw egg right away, okay? So we're just going to let this mix and kind of bring in the sides that's still dry. You want everything to be nice and combined. So I'm going to speed up the video just a bit, you guys, because I don't want this video to be an hour long. No, it does not take an hour to make fresh pasta. It's a very easy process and an easy thing to make. Pretty much all you have to do is mix it together, let it sit for 20 minutes, roll it out, cut it up, and cook your pasta. So it's not hard to do, and it does not take long, okay? So I'm just going to keep scraping the sides with my spatula just to combine all the flour with the egg. Make sure everything is nice and mixed well, okay? And I'm still using the same setting on number 2. You do not want your flour to be super wet or sticky or anything like that. You want it to be nice and crumbly. So this is kind of what you want it to be like. If there's too much moisture on your dough hook, take it off and just remix the flour and the eggs. Just remix it just to combine it a bit better. And then you can go ahead and remove it from the bowl, because sometimes most of the egg would stick onto the dough hook, and that area would have like the most, softest part of the pasta, and it's not combined properly, okay? So now that we have the pasta dough combined, I'm going to put in some saran wrap in a large bowl. So I covered the entire bowl with it because we're going to use that saran wrap to wrap our pasta dough. So what you're going to do is just take it from all sides. I actually use 2 sheets and just overlap them or layer them to kind of create a big sheet. And I'm just going to get all 4 corners and twist until I get all the air out of my pasta ball, or whatever you want to call it. I'll call it a pasta ball, okay? So I take the air out and I just start twisting. And this is also going to help combine the pasta and just make it set. You want to squeeze out all the air and just put it aside for about 20 minutes. While you do this, you can, cut up your onions, get your sauce ready and all that good stuff. So by the time your sauce is done, your pasta is pretty much ready to be pressed out, cut up, and cooked. But we're doing raviolis, so that's what we're going to do in about 20 minutes. So now I'm going to go ahead and make the filling, which I'm using a whole medium onion. Okay, and I'm using extra virgin olive oil to saute that in. Then I'm also going to go ahead and add in some garlic. This is about a tablespoon's worth of garlic. I love garlic. If you don't buy the pre-chopped garlic, you can use about 4 cloves of garlic and just chop it up real fine and put it in there. Then I'm going to go in with my ground chicken. This is, I guess, the regular pack of ground chicken. I get it from Walmart, so I'm using 2 packs of ground chicken, okay? You can also use turkey if you want to, but I prefer the chicken over the turkey. Now I'm just going to go in with some seasoning. I'm using garlic powder. Then I'm going to go in with some onion powder as well. And I'm using a tablespoon and a half of each. Then I'm going to go in with some black pepper, and I'm also going to season it with a bit of salt. So as far as salt goes, season it to taste. If I'm using 2 packs of ground chicken, I usually use about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. If I'm using kosher salt, I usually start off with a half a teaspoon because it's a bit more saltier to me. That type of salt, it's coarse. It's a bit more stronger than pink Himalayan salt, okay? So now I'm just going to go ahead and stir everything around. I also added dried parsley flakes, about 2 teaspoons or tablespoons worth of dried parsley flakes, and I'm just going to mix that up and let it cook down. As you guys can see, I'm now adding my salt, and I added about a teaspoon worth of salt there, and that's the pink Himalayan salt that I use. And now I'm just going to go in with my sausage meat. You can find these in Walmart, and most supermarkets carry them. They're pre-seasoned and everything, so you do not have to add more salt or anything. They do have a good amount of flavor in them, so if you want to reduce the salt, you could probably put in a half teaspoon salt into your chicken and then mix it with this. But because I use 2 packs of ground chicken, I season my chicken because the sausage does not have enough flavor to give all of it flavor, if that makes sense to you, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and mix it all up and then just let this cook all the way through until it's no longer pink, okay? It's going to take about 20 minutes to 30 minutes for this to fully cook through on medium heat, not high heat because it's going to burn. All right, and once it's fully cooked, I'm going to be using my food processor. This is from Ninja. I got it for my wedding from one of my really sweet YouTube friends here. Um, and I absolutely love it. So I'm just going to add all the meat mixture in there. So the sausage meat, the ground sausage meat, and the ground chicken, all of it into the mixer. And we're just going to kind of give it a rough kind of pulsed chop, okay? You don't want it to turn into like a paste or anything like that. But if you like the paste texture, that's cool. But I like my meat stuffing for raviolis to be more on the kind of coarse side, if that makes any sense to you guys. I don't want it to be like a paste or anything like that. All right, so I'm just going to use it on the pulse setting to kind of give it a rough cut to knock down all the chunky parts. Like I don't want it super, super chunky at all, okay? And you guys do not need to get like high-end brand food processors. They sell so many affordable ones all over the place. You can find some in Walmart. You can find them in Bed Bath & Beyond. It's totally up to you. You can even get a small one. Some of them start at $20, the little small ones. So you could get one that works for you. All you have to do is just separate the meat. Just put half the meat at a time to cut it up. So you don't have to go out there and get something super expensive, or you can just use your knife and a cutting board and chop the meat up yourself. So now I'm just going to add everything in my large bowl here and just get it ready for the rest of the ingredients. So now I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of mayo. Look, this is my recipe, so don't judge, okay? I'm going to add this entire tub of ricotta cheese. I'm making a lot of stuffing. I usually make a lot so I can keep extra. I'm also going to add in 1 cup of this shredded 3-cheese blend and a half cup of grated Parmesan Romano cheese as well. I know it's a lot of cheese. I like cheese. Who doesn't like cheese? Okay. Now I'm going to add in 2 cups of shredded mozzarella. You can reduce the fat if you get a reduced fat mozzarella. But this is whole milk mozzarella. Okay. Now I'm going to add in some fresh parsley and cut that up. And we're going to mix that all up, you guys. This is my favorite part, actually, to mix it all up. It smells so good, and it could taste so good you could put it on a sandwich, but it's not for sandwiches, but it's really delicious. I'm gonna go in and sprinkle a bit of paprika over there. It just gives it a really nice color and smell. I really like how it kind of brings the flavors out. So I'm just gonna go ahead, add that, and then mix it up. It's not like a half teaspoon or anything like that. It's probably like a quarter teaspoon. It's just a sprinkle all over. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and mix that up as well. And this is a close-up of how it looks. You can see all the mozzarella still in there. Like, this is going to be delicious once it's cooked, you guys. Okay, so now for our pasta dough ball, we're going to take it out of its plastic wrap, and as you guys could see, it kind of melted into each other. So this is how it should look. You don't want it falling apart still once you take it out of that saran wrap. Okay, you want it to be nice and combined. So I'm just gonna add a bit of flour to it, so this will help make it a bit more easier for me to work with it. And I'm just gonna section it off into 4 pieces. Put the rest back into the saran wrap because you don't want it to dry out. Okay, you're going to be needing a rolling pin to just roll out one piece just a bit, just to roll it out, just to get it a bit flat so you can use it in your pasta press roller or pasta attachment for your machine. They do have a pasta machine that you can use for, that doesn't require electricity. It's a hand crank one. Sorry about that, you guys. It's a hand crank one. And then they have the pasta attachment you can put on your mixer. So it doesn't have to be like super, super flat or anything. Just roll it out just a bit. Try to get the size, a nice even size, okay? And then we're just going to start rolling. So what I do is I start with the widest width, which is number 1. And then I work my way up to number 4. When I make my first pass through number 1, what I do is fold it in half. And then I go through it maybe 2 or 3 more times, and then I go to number 2, do 2 passes, number 3, do 2 passes, and then number 4 I usually do 3 passes to make sure everything is nice and smooth. Okay, so you should end up with a very long sheet of pasta. If you guys notice, the pasta is the same width as the attachment, and I'll show you why I'm keeping it that wide. Okay, this is just going to be much easier for you to work with to make the raviolis. If you feel as though the pasta is not coming out wide enough, all you have to do is fold it up again and kind of fold it to the size of the width and roll out your pasta that way. So this is how it looks when I'm done with the last setting, which is number 4 and my 3 passes. And I add extra flour. This is just to keep the pasta from sticking to each other, making it easier to work with. And then this is my new favorite thing in my kitchen, my pasta press. I did get this off Amazon. I asked my babe if he could get it for me. So I got it, and it's super affordable to get, really easy to work with. So as you guys can see, the width of my pasta goes right over this cool little, I don't know what you could call it, a tool, tool, pasta press. It goes over it perfectly, and you want to make sure you have overhang on each side of the press. Okay, then you're going to use the plastic part and push it down. This is going to make the little holes, perfect little holes for you to put your filling. So I'm just using a teaspoon, okay, not a tablespoon, a teaspoon, filling it up and then putting in my filling, kind of like rounding it out a bit, but not, shoving it in there because I do not want to break the pasta. So just getting a good amount. Like, it's slightly smaller. It's not as big as a golf ball, not that big, okay, but teaspoon size, and just rounding it out using the spoon. Okay, so what I'm also going to do is wet the seams. I'm using a piece of paper towel, or you can use a brush if you like. The paper towel is lint free and dust free, so it's not going to affect the pasta. Okay, so we're just wetting the seams, and then we're going to take the rest of the pasta and then just go over it. Don't worry about the rest because you're going to use that as well. Okay, so make sure everything is nice and even, and then now you can go in with your rolling pin and roll. So I'm pushing towards the seam that is open, not the one that is closed, okay? Not the part where it's folded. towards the part that's still open with the extra pasta. You want to push all the air out, and then you can go in and apply pressure, and this is going to help cut out your raviolis. It's also going to make both sheets of pasta stick to each other. The water that we apply to the seams is gonna kind of rehydrate the pasta dough and make it sticky, kind of like glue almost, but water, okay, and just kind of help it combine and get it nice and perfect so it doesn't fall apart when you put it in the water. Okay, so as you guys could see, by rolling it, the excess pasta comes off. You want to roll until you're able to see all the little ridges in the pasta press. And then now you're able to turn over. Make sure you add a lot of flour, by the way, if I didn't say that. Add a lot of flour to your pasta. This way it comes out really easily. Do not put in pasta in your pasta press that's more on the wet, moist side. It's just going to stick in there. So you want to make sure it has a lot of flour so it's easy to come out. So as you guys can see, they're pretty much perfect. They're full. There's no air in them or anything like that. And you're pretty much done. That's it. It's super easy to make these at home. If you don't want to do the whole chicken sausage ordeal, you can definitely just make a ricotta mozzarella cheese mixture, you know, and just fill your raviolis with that and just do cheese raviolis. It's totally up to you. You can pretty much do anything you want with raviolis, stuff them with anything, so just have fun with it. So I cooked my raviolis for about 8 minutes in boiling water. They cook pretty fast. You don't want to cook them any longer than that. You know, sometimes it could cook really fast and sometimes it takes a bit longer depending on how thick your pasta is. See, if you go down to a thinner size, the pasta will cook faster. If you stay at a thicker size, like a 2 or 3, it's going to take a bit longer for the pasta or the ravioli to heat up, you know, enough to warm up the filling on the inside to make everything nice, warm, and melty on the inside, okay? So yeah, this is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I'm so sorry it took forever to do it. I've been super busy. If you guys want to keep up with my daily life, make sure you follow me at Life with Queenie on my Instagram page. I also put whatever new videos I will be posting on this channel on there. I'll give you a little preview once I start posting on a regular again. But I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I hope it was super easy for you. I think it's easy. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment down below, and let me know what you think. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you very soon. Bye, guys.